Hey everyone, it's Elizabeth from Primary Pickles. I am just days away from my students starting. Today's Monday, August 12th, and our students start on August 14th. So I'm busy getting ready. I'm trying to think of 1,000 different things, but one thing that I don't really have to think about that much is what read-alouds I'm going to do, because there are so many to choose from, and I'm going to talk to you about some of them today. Some of them would be better for primary kids, some of them are better for elementary kid or intermediate kids, but really I don't think you can go wrong with a lot of read-alouds because so many of them are catered to even adults, like to make us laugh. I always crack up reading a lot of these books. So I'm just going to go through them one by one. As I mentioned, I teach first grade. So we spend a lot of time developing the whole person. That's kind of my goal for this year, is to not just focus on academics, but to make sure I'm also kind of developing the whole first grader into a great tiny human. So one of the favorite books that I read at the beginning of the year is Chrysanthemum. You've probably read it if you're watching this video, but it's a super cute story about a little mouse named Chrysanthemum, and people kind of pick on her for her name. It just goes into how she handled that and how her teacher handled it, and it's a really, really cute story. There are thousands and thousands of activities that you can find on Teachers Pay Teachers or Instagram, Pinterest, you name it. There are tons of activities. It's a super cute book. Couldn't recommend it enough. Okay, the next book, I don't know if you guys saw last year, but there was like a Facebook thing that went kind of viral where the kids would hop towards each other in like a game board made out of chalk, and they would hop towards each other and then play rock, paper, scissors. Oops, that's my timer. Oops, that timer was telling me that it is time to go home, and yet here I am. Anyway, so you probably saw the game where the kids hop towards each other, they play rock, paper, scissors, and whoever wins gets to move on. The other person's out and the next person has to start, and the goal is to like get as many people from your side to the other side. So we were playing that game outside, and it was super fun. The first graders absolutely loved it. We played it with all 3 classes, and then one of my coworkers brought down this book for us to read, which is The Legend of Rock, Paper, and Scissors. It's from the same author of the guy who wrote The Day the Crayons Quit, and I was like in tears laughing reading this book. It is so funny, just the way it's written and the illustrations, like, and it's very funny for adults too, because we read it to our kids on Halloween, because we actually went as rock, paper, and scissors, and like the rock says, "Are you not entertained?" just like in Gladiator. So we actually acted out this book on Halloween because we went as rock, paper, scissors, and this was the book that inspired it. It's so funny. I could not recommend it enough. It just, you will crack up, your kids will crack up, and they'll want to read this book over and over and over again. So that's The Legend of Rock, Paper, and Scissors. Okay, the next book is actually by the same author, The Day the Crayons Quit. It's just funny, and it kind of gives you some perspective about the crayons that you use and how creative you can be. You know, it talks about how the green is really tired of being crocodiles and trees and dinosaurs, and the white crayon is sad because it never gets used, and the black crayon gets rubbed to a nib, but it only really gets used as an outline. You know, the brown, he's beige and he's proud of being beige, and people don't want to use him, they want to call him light brown, whatever. But this is funny. We also went as this book for Halloween one year. We all dressed up as crayons, and we had little picket signs, and when we did our Halloween parade, we walked around with the picket signs, and the parents just were cracking up. They thought it was hilarious. The last one is my absolute favorite. One of my kids gave this to me last year on the first day of school, and it's just another one where I was cracking up reading it, and my kids, like, we were all just rolling on the floor laughing. RFL. And it's called We Don't Eat Our Classmates, and it's about this dinosaur who gets enrolled in kindergarten, and long story short, she eats her classmates, and then they have to talk about how you don't eat your classmates. And it is just one of the funniest things that you can read to your class if you want to laugh. I would say that older kids would really enjoy this book too, because it's just really, really well written. The illustrations are really great. You know, it's very expressive. She's got a whole pile of tin fish sandwiches to take to lunch. It's really funny. Couldn't recommend it enough. I say that about all of them because they're all great. Ryan T. Higgins, good job. Gold star for you. And the last one is a chapter book, and this I actually do read to my first graders, but it would be an excellent read aloud for older kids too. It is Ralph S. Mouse by Beverly Cleary. It's still a great book. It's a classic. And I really like reading this one at the beginning of the year because the character, I think his name is Ryan, he is kind of a loner. He's lonely, he's new, you know, his best friend is a mouse. And so if you've never read it before, it's excellent. I have a little mouse stuffed animal that I pass around and we talk about it. We talk about how Ryan must feel, we talk about how Ralph must feel, and it's just really a great adventure of seeing things from the perspective of a mouse. So that is, those are my beginning of the year read aloud suggestions. If you have suggestions of books that you like to read at the beginning of the year, please leave a comment down below or share them on my Instagram or my Twitter, which are both at primary.pickles. And I hope you all have wonderful school years. Super excited to see my kids in less than 24 hours, so it'll be really great. I hope to see you all soon. Make sure you like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Bye!